The hell? This machine coiled. Shit. Yeah. Hey guys, Hello, we keep it dirty off-road, and today we're going to be installing a dash cam onto the truck, and I'm going to show you guys how to wire it so you also get the parking mode feature. Why am I doing a dash cam? I think it's obvious. My last camera was not rolling during the last accident, and if I had that, it would have been a much easier process to get the insurance claim to go in our favor. It ended up going in our favor anyways, but it would have helped us out a lot. And I've had multiple situations where my little fake GoPro cameras that I had were constantly failing. They didn't give me any error notifications, so I had no idea if they're recording or not. So we ended up going with the very highly rated Viofo A129 dual camera. The reason why we picked this one is because it's a dual camera. It's relatively cost effective. It has good support, but most importantly, it has a warning system that if the SD card is not recording, it does an audible beep. So that's very important to me because my dash camera hasn't been working, so that's why we picked this one. So I'm gonna do a quick unboxing with you guys and show you what comes with the system. So right there is your main camera. It's what covers most of your regular video.
You can look at the homies.
And this right here is your rear camera.
You can look at the back of your homies.
Let's see what else is in here. Owner's manuals, pictures. And then you get some more stickies, which is kind of nice. You get extra stickies for both the rear camera and the front camera. Extra long cable to connect the rear camera. Cable to connect the front. It comes with a USB adapter, so you can, use it right off the bat. A small cable, I guess, for configuration. Some ties for cable management, and a pry tool. We also got the Viofo hardwiring kit. This kit actually allows you to use parking mode. Now notice it has 3 connections. It uses one for power, one for switch, and one for ground. The reason why it uses 3 is that this will actually detect when the truck is off, and it'll enable the parking mode where you can do a time lapse. And it has a voltage detector so that if it drains your battery too low, it'll turn itself off too. So it's kind of very important. So we're going to be able to get time lapse every time we park now, which is kind of cool. And we're going to protect the battery so we don't drain it. Now, one last item that we got is a high endurance SD card. Now this one's important, and this is something that's been coming out here recently. High endurance and SD cards are designed for loop recording. So for dash cam applications, and one of the most common failures you're going to have with the dash cam is the actual SD card. So this is going to be a little bit more reliable, and it's going to give us less issues. It's a little bit more expensive. I think we paid 25 bucks for this SD card, but it's totally worth it for that extra peace of mind. So we're going to put all of these guys in our Amazon influencers page. So we're going to put the link below if you want to go ahead and check out these products and buy them yourself. Again, you don't have to get the magic, the power, so that you can detect when it goes off and use parking mode. This is completely optional, and it's up to you. You do not have to do this install. All right, guys, let's go ahead and do it. All right, now first part of the installation, we need to figure out where we're going to be putting this camera. So in order to do that, you're going to need to get out some of the cables. We're just going to hang them freely and basically power up the camera, and using the app, point the camera to get us the best possible spot. That's going to give us the best view out the window. We're also going to use the cables because that's also going to tell us how we're going to be mounting everything. Because the rear camera has this little long ass cable. We're going to test it out, see what's the best spot is going to be so that we can clear all the cables. You got a power cable up top. This right here is your GPS puck. It connects up top. All power goes to that first. And then out of the side, you have your regular USB connection that you're probably never going to use unless you connect it to your PC, and your rear camera connection. So let's go ahead and put it in the truck and do this initial setup. Luckily, the kit comes with this nice long cable. Now, we're not going to end up using this cable because we're using the hardwiring kit, but this is a good cable to start off with to get the camera pointed up and everything. What the hell? This machine coiled. Shit. Yeah.
That's our intro.
I'm gonna hook it up.
Yeah. That's creepy.
There it is. We're gonna turn on Wi-Fi on this thing, which the way to do that is you do a long press on the last button over here. Okay, Wi-Fi is on. Then we're gonna go to the phone. We're gonna connect to the camera. Where's the camera? No, there it is. You can look for a Viofo. That one.
Alright, there you go.
Connect to it. Once we've confirmed it's connected to it, we go back to the app. And there you go. There's our view. Pretty real-time view too. So this is what we're going to use. Point our camera and see where it's going to go. Okay. So I was thinking about here. There's something about there. Look at that. How's that view?
It's pretty nice.
Let's see. Let's try down here, right in front of the.
I'd say that would work because you're able to access it easily.
Let me angle it up a little bit. Take the camera off. That's what's so cool about this thing. The rear camera, we're going to connect the rear USB right there. Take that off. There's a little one. You're such a dumbass, Ethan.
What? Dad. Hand. Hold over. Yeah, there you go.
I can show you the world.
How do we get that bigger?
That's what she said.
See my eyeball?
That right there. Now notice that noise it's making?
Uh-huh.
That's one of the reasons why we got this camera. When it's not recording, it beeps like crazy. We're gonna put this out back. So the question is, where out back? So let me go ahead and jump in the back.
Yeah,
Oh no, go out back.
Welcome back to some ASMR.
Hey. None of this digestion bullshit. Let's see what's gonna work out best. We know we're gonna be doing RPG's RST18 kit, and the tires ended off right about there. So we're gonna have to put this somewhere on one of these corners. So let's see. Ethan, can I see the video? How's that? Can you put it closer, please? Yeah, be a dick all the time.
My Netflix movie.
I may even put it. What do you think, Ethan? We may put it like right here. Yeah, I think we should just put it here and then just leave enough slack so that we can open and close the door. Let's go ahead and put this on there.
Oh, you have twitchy fingers.
Okay. Now we just gotta wire it up. So let's go do that. So we're gonna need to take this down and run our cables, and at the same time, we're gonna need to get into here. So we're gonna pop all this off. I'm gonna be spending some time wiring in here. So to make it easier, we're gonna take that out. It'll just make it easier for our wiring. And we mainly need access to our fuse box, which we're going to be adding a few taps, and our ground cable right there. Can I get the 10 mil, Ethan, with an extension?
You take that off? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you need to take it off.
You don't. Just keep it off.
Uh-oh. This thing has a right angle on it, and it has a right angle in the wrong direction. Yep. Oh, that sucks. Let's see if we can get it in there. And no, we can't.
That's what she said.
Welcome to this episode of Digestion. We're going to talk about how meat is good for you. We gotta cook it. No one likes it bleeding.
All right, aiming the camera, take two. So as you guys saw, our cable placement sucked. So we got to figure out another spot. Higher up. Yeah, so we're just kind of connecting it right now to figure out what's going to be the better spot. It's about as straight as it's going to get.
Yep.
Preston.
All right.
What else if you break it?
And we're screwed.
Oh, that was scary.
That's scary the way that's in there. I'm going to put these in here, but we're going to leave some slack.
So you can actually take out the cords.
Yeah, later on. So both of them will go into there. And I think got it all the way in the end. Okay, now I'm gonna leave a little bit of gap in here. Power cable. We're gonna follow the existing cable guide that's right here. Run it behind the speaker wire. Run it all back in here. And it'll pop up in there. We went ahead and zip tied the cable down there. We'll talk about the settings for this thing here later. And then the cable for the camera, we're gonna run right along there, all the way to the back. And we're gonna use this thing to feed it through. Let's get started on doing that. Back to the
Taking a field trip, boy.
Feed it through there. And try to go around that pole. Okay. Oh, there it is. There it is. I got you. I got it. All right. All right. Slowly pull it through. There we go. Okay.
Tape's off.
Okay. Now pull it all the way out.
I can't pull it anymore.
Let's go ahead and route the cable to the back. We're gonna end up with a bunch of leftover cable. I don't want to leave it all the way over there. So here's what we're gonna do. I need you to plug it into the back of the camera. All right, we got it all tucked in.
Yo, you want some goldfish?
All the excess down. Took all this again. Bring this bad boy back in.
Work your magic, my dude. Radical. You gonna step those?
Yep. Gonna cut the end like that.
Dad, who taught you how to do that?
Just learned over the years, bud. YouTube certified, bud. Now there's two connections here. There's one that says battery, one that says accessory. What we're gonna do is one's gonna be to a constant on source, and then the second one's gonna be to something that only turns on with the key. That's how we're gonna get the camera to go into parking mode. We want parking mode on this thing. So in order to do that, this has to go to a circuit that's switched by the key. This has to go to a circuit that's always on. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do next, try to find something there that'll work, that'll do both of those. Now, before we do that, go ahead and add our ADA circuits to it. The ADA circuits that the Ford uses are unique. These are what you call micro 2 circuits underneath the dash. You're not going to find these at most of your auto parts store. I know AutoZone didn't carry them. We had to go to O'Reilly's, and for the most part, we had to get them special order from O'Reilly's. These are what they call micro 2 circuits. Now we're going to put a 5 amp circuit because that's the maximum draw of the dash cam. So we're going to do maximum 5 amp. And then as far as the circuit, we're going to look at a couple of options. On my last truck, if I remember correctly, the 360 camera towards the bottom, which was like a 36 or a 37, yeah, the 360 cameras, heated steering wheels and all that stuff, that was all only on due to the key. So I think that's the one we're going to end up using. And then as far as the other one, we're just going to pick a random one on the other side, and we'll make sure we let you guys know which one switch. 36, little 1 second to the bottom, that's the one we're going to use for our switched. So that's going to go on this yellow one. And the red one, we're just going to pick any random one at the top because I know most of those are always on. So let's go ahead and give it a try. We're also going to change the settings on this thing too. So this asks what's the input, I guess, is a 12 volt, 24 volt, whatever. We're gonna go to the 12 volt. I think that's what the truck normally provides. Now, time to pick our fuses.
And time for you to squeeze in there.
Yep.
The part that sucks.
And then I know for a fact that 28, which was the one right above it, always on. That's the one that the radio used to be on.
So you can use that one?
Yep. This is an always on one. I know for this for a fact. Damn it.
Oh, it won't go in?
It won't go in because of that little tab right there.
That's what she
Which
said.
we don't need that tab, so I'm going to cut it off.
That's what she said.
What?
Cut it off. That girl must be really evil for her to tell you to cut it off.
Okay. So that's that. Okay, now comes the moment of truth where we're going to hook everything up and see if our wiring is correct. So let's go ahead and put it on. Oh, come on. There we go. I see a little red button, right?
Yep, it says the little record button is on.
Give it a second to see if it turns on.
The little record is on, the video is on. Woohoo! Yep, it's working.
And you can see the rear camera in that too.
We think we got it right. We made sure that the 36 was a switch port, meaning that it only turns on with the key. The next port was, I think, 33,
30.
which is a constant on. So let me make sure on those numbers. We use 36 as our switched port, which 36 is a 360 cameras. Then 34 was our always on port, which is the run start delay. And that's the main ones you're gonna need to wire this. We're gonna go ahead and put this back together, and then we're gonna go test it out. Now we wanted to show you guys some example footage so you can see what these cameras look like. Now keep in mind, both of these cameras are 1080p, so you're not going to get that crystal clear quality you would expect from a 4K dash camera. But honestly, you don't really need it. 1080p cameras can still capture all the detail that you need, like license plates and faces and all that stuff. And honestly, I would rather run a 1080p because I can actually record a full day of video on a 1080p camera and not have to worry about losing some of that video at the end of the day. So if you're going on runs or anything like that, it's actually quite beneficial to have the footage in 1080p because you can capture more of it. You can do a full 12-hour day and have most of the footage left over for you to use. Now, one of the first places we took this to test it off-road was Bedford Canyon. This is just down the road from us. And overall, we got really good quality here. You could see really well out of the front. There is some glare on the glass, but they do make a lens filter you can put on these to remove some of that glare. So we may look at doing that here in the future. But overall, I'm really happy with the quality of the footage. Now we also wanted to show you guys what the time lapse looks like. You can actually configure it to capture 1, 2, 3, as many frames as you want per second, but the rule of thumb here is you usually get about 10 seconds of footage for every hour. Now that may not sound like much, but it's more than enough to get the detail of somebody doing something to your vehicle, right? So if somebody comes up and does something in your vehicle, hits it or anything like that, it gives you a couple frames to actually capture the data you need. And just like that, guys, we're done. Overall, it took about 2 hours to get the install done from start to finish. It wasn't too difficult. There was some learning we had to do, right? Like how to figure out how to get out that top piece off and figuring out which fuses to use. So I think you guys could probably do this in easily an hour and a half max. You know, it's not too difficult to do something like this. As far as tools, you just need crimpers, a way to connect, make your connections. You're gonna need to buy some extra pieces, right? So you're gonna need some ANA circuits, unless you want to do it a little bit differently. But we'll put the full part list of everything we use on our build down below so that you guys can do this yourself too. And this camera came very highly rated. It's a little bit on the expensive side. I think it was about 170 bucks total for the camera, plus the magic power thing so that it can use parking mode. It's a little bit cheaper than your Blackview cameras. The Blackview cameras are very, very expensive, and they don't have a key feature that this one does. If this thing is not recording, it's making an audible noise, which is a big deal for me, because the last couple accidents, the damn cameras that I had, little FoPros, didn't record anything. So hopefully this video helps you guys out, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Don't forget to subscribe and keep those trucks nice and dirty.